Welcome to my Keeper Kennen guide. This comp has recently picked up in popularity, and today I will show you how to master this comp. We start off by going over the build, what items you make, how to play the early, mid, and late game, and then we finish off going over in-depth positioning. There are two ways to play this comp. The first option is to go for a 3-star approach where you look to 3-star Kennen, Rakan, and Jarvan. In that case, your level 7 build without any chosens looks like this. Here we got 4 keepers and a 2 Vanguard frontline. Our main carry is Kennen, and our secondary carry is Xayah. Aatrox is crucial to this comp as it's our only form of backline access, and we want as many units as possible to clump around Kennen. Nunu is just an Elderwood bot, but he's needed as the comp will get its Elderwood stacks to the max, due to the Keeper shield lasting very long. You can also run Kindred over him for 2 Executioners. If you get a Keeper chosen, you take out Nunu for Elise to get 6 Keepers in, and if you get an Elderwood chosen, take out Nunu for Kindred. If you get a Vanguard chosen, you take out Nunu for another Vanguard. The game plan here is to slow roll at level 7 for 3 stars. Your priority is 3-star Kennen, Rakan, then Jarvan. This will require you to be either uncontested, or the other player has to be far off, or be going for the other way to play this comp. And the second way to play this comp is to go for level 8 and look for this board. Here we're running Xayah as the primary carry, and Kennen is acting as a secondary carry. 6 keepers is what you want to go for if you find Azir, but another strong level 8 board that doesn't require any chosens is an Executioner board. Here we drop down to 4 keepers, and we're more so all in on Xayah. This is even stronger if you find an Executioner chosen. If you get a Keeper chosen, you can go for 6 keepers and take out Kayle, and if you get a Vanguard chosen, you can take out Jarvan for Sejuani. The game plan for both options are the same. The first one is preferred if you have better Kennen items or bad Xayah items, and the second one is better if you have good Xayah items and or bad Kennen items. The chosens you want to go for both of these are any Keeper chosen that is not Elise, Elderwood, Rakan, Xayah, or Ornn, Vanguard, Aatrox, Sejuani, or Ornn. Any Executioner chosen works as long as you have good Xayah items. Some chosens that are not great, but work if you don't have the money to find a better one, are Mystic Yuumi, Janna, or Neeko, Spirit Kindred, or Yuumi. Xayah and Kennen are both our carries, but let's take a look at Kennen first. He has one core item, and that is GA. This item is insanely important as he sometimes might not get to cast the spell without it, and once you get him upgraded, he might even cast 2 times with it. The second item you want to build depends on whether or not you are 3-starring him this game. If you're only 2-starring Kennen, then you want to build Morello as the second item. This item is really good as he will be hitting multiple people with it, and he also scales well with the AP. The third item for a 2-star Kennen wants to be either Ionic Spark, Jewel Gauntlet, or Deathcap. If you are 3-starring Kennen, the second item wants to be Ionic Spark. Morello is really important if you are not planning on 3-starring Kennen, but Ionic Spark is better if you are 3-starring Kennen. The reason for this is that everything gets one-shot by Kennen 3-star, so Morello has little to no value there. It is much better to have Ionic Spark on a 3-star Kennen to make sure you're not getting countered by Mystics. The third item for Kennen wants to be either Jewel Gauntlet, Deathcap, Hajj, Gunblade, Titan's Resolve, Dragon's Claw, or Bramble Vest. Xayah has no real core item, but the best one you can put on her by far is Hajj. This is because Xayah scales really well with both the healing and damage from this item. She drops aggro when she casts, as well as scaling off the extra stats from Elderwoods. The second and third item you want to put on Xayah wants to be either LW, Deathblade, Rageblade, or even another Hajj. Infinity Edge is good on her if you're not running Executioners, and you can also build Static Shiv on Xayah, but only build this if Kennen is your primary carry. When you're running 4 or 6 keepers, you rarely need a defensive item on her, but building a GA, Trapclaw, or QSS doesn't hurt if you can't go for triple offensive items. Any other tank items you build wants to go on your 3-star 2 costs or on Aatrox or Sejuani. If you get a Spatula, a great item to make is Elderwood Spat. This wants to go on Kennen as a third item, but also putting this on Jarvan if you're 3-starring him, Aatrox, Sejuani, or Kindred also works. Another option is to make a Vanguard Spat. This wants to go on any of the 3-star 2 costs or on Xayah as a defensive item. So to sum up, if you're 3-starring Kennen, your priority is GA, then 2 more items for him, then go for tank or Xayah items. If you're going for Xayah as the primary carry, then first go for GA Kennen, then go for Morello Kennen, then go for 3 Xayah items. The carousel priority for this comp is Sword, Chain, Glove, then Rod. From there, you want to build the strongest opener possible for stage 2, and the strongest opener that transitions well into Kennen is to be running a 4 Keeper opener. This is only good if you can make GA and Morello, as you need some form of damage, and Kennen will rarely cast without it. This does require you to either get a Kennen from an orb or to pre-level. Other good openers are Yasuo carry, 2 sharpshooters, here the frontline can be anything from brawlers, vanguards, divine, or keepers, 3 warlords with 2 keepers, or 3 cultists with 2 keepers. During the early game, we also want to make items. As a general rule, you want to make an item if you have 4 or more components. Some good items to slam that transition well into Keeper Kennen are Chalice, Dragon's Claw, GA, Hajj, Spark, LW, and Morello. During the early game, I really like pre-leveling to 4 on 1-4. This is because I want to find Kennen as early as possible, and since you can't find 3 costs at level 3, going to 4 ASAP is preferred. But if you want to learn more about how to play the early game, check out my guide where I go in-depth on the subject. At the Krugs round, you should have more direction towards a comp. The general requirements to play Keeper Kennen is to have at least 1 component for GA and 1 component for another Xayah or Kennen item. You also prefer to have a couple of the Keeper units already. During the mid-game, you always hold Kennen, Xayah, and Aatrox if you are not playing them. With this comp, it is okay to roll at level 6, but it's definitely not preferred. This is because we really need Aatrox, and having Xayah as well is really nice. And it's hard to hit both of those at level 6, but if you are really weak, typically around 70 to 60 HP, and or lost streaking, then leveling to 6 on 3-2 and rolling is fine. The ideal board to end up with after rolling at level 6 is this. Some other boards that are good are Keeper Cultists, Akali carry, or Sivir carry. During the mid-game, you also want to scout. You're looking for people's units, synergies, items, and what comp they're going. This is mostly to see if we are going to be contested this game, and also to gather information about whether or not we need Last Whisper on Xayah. This comp can only support 1 player if you're going for 3 stars, but it can support up to 3 players if you're going for everything 2-starred with Xayah carry. But if you see more than that going for it, consider pivoting to Enlightened Talon or Slayers with Morgana. At the Wolves round, you need to decide if you are going for 3 stars or if you're playing for Xayah and Aatrox. The second thing is whether you need to roll down or if you can save gold to either slow roll or push level 8. If you're going for 3 stars, you need to be uncontested, and by 4-1, you need to be healthy enough to slow roll at level 7 for a couple of turns, as well as being strong enough to take good losses or even win rounds. Make sure to scout the lobby to compare how strong you are to the rest of them. If you're kind of weak, make sure to level to 7 and roll down on 4-1. You roll until you hit at least Kennen 2-star, and also 2-starring everything else that is not a 4-cost unit. If you're playing for Xayah carry, you always want to go level 8 if possible, but rolling at 7 is not bad with this comp. The amount of gold you roll depends a lot on how strong the lobby is, so make sure to scout so you can evaluate how strong you are. When rolling at 7, you are generally stable once you hit Kennen 2-star, plus either Xayah 1-star or another 2-star 3-cost unit to hold her items. Finding Aatrox as well is huge, as he is your only backline access in this comp. If you want to go level 8, make sure you have enough HP and money to level and roll on 4-5. This will generally require you to have a 2-star Kennen and Xayah or Aatrox already. At level 9, you will add in another unit to round out your comp or to counter the enemy teams. Usually this will be another carry like Yone, Set, or Lee Sin. First, I will go over general positioning with this comp, then I will go over some in-depth examples. General positioning looks like this. We're positioning Kennen in the middle, so we get the best result on average. When playing, you want to scout to see which side most people are on, but in general, going for this also works as long as you have Aatrox in. We position Aatrox in the opposite side where most of the enemy carries are. Rakan is in the front line as he can ult the backline when he's on the front line. Jarvan also wants to be on the opposite side of the enemy carry. Xayah is behind Kennen and close to Aatrox so that she gets the best ultimate angle, and the same logic goes with Azir. Now moving on to some in-depth positioning examples. Against the first guy, we have one soldier on the right side so that Sejuani ults it, and it doesn't hit our entire team, and the second soldier is talon bait. Kennen is positioned a bit closer to the middle, as the enemy team is a bit spread out. Rakan is positioned to taunt Irelia so she doesn't ult into our team. Saya is positioned to get the best ultimate angle possible, same with Azir. Aatrox is on far left side to potentially pull in the Talon. Against the second guy, Rakan is in the middle to disarm the enemy Kennen. Our Kennen is a bit closer to the left, while still ranging the entire enemy team. Our Azir soldiers are positioned to be farthest away from the enemy Aatrox. Here Xayah and Azir are positioned to get the best ultimate angles possible. Against the third guy, our Rakan is positioned on the front line to hopefully CC the Neeko. Kennen is positioned next to him to ult the entire enemy team. Aatrox is next to him to pull in Neeko and Zilean. Our Azir soldiers are in the back to hopefully make Neeko target them with her ultimate. Against the fourth guy, Kennen is far left to hit most of the enemy team. Rakan is positioned to disarm Irelia and make her ult away from our team. Aatrox is positioned to pull in Kayle and to stay out of the Lee Sin ult. The Sand soldiers are positioned so that Lee Sin doesn't kick anyone off the map. So to sum up, make sure you're pulling in high value targets into the Kennen ultimate with Aatrox, and make sure that Xayah gets good ultimate angles. Also utilize the Azir soldiers to your advantage. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what video you want me to make next. And if you want to get better at TFT, join the Discord. We got over 1,000 other players there who are hungry to climb. And if you want to get coached by me, the information is over on the Discord server as well. So take care and see you in the next video.